Hello everyone. In the previous video, we spoke about exponential smoothing for forecasting. In this video, we will be working on trends, especially the linear trend. Let me just work it from the very scratch in a new sheet, Excel sheet. Okay, in order to use this, we must have more than 4 or 5 data points, because otherwise we won't be able to make sense out of it. Let's assume that we are selling cell phones, and the weekly sales data, we have it for the past 10 weeks. So the first thing you need to do, you could even look at it and you can see that it looks like there's an upward trend. We started our sales with 700 cell phones the first week, and then it became 724, 720. The best way would be to select it and then go to insert and then click on recommended, and then you could choose any of the two. Okay, you could either choose scatter or you could choose a simple line, whichever you like, and then click on OK. With this one, you could immediately see that there is an upward trend in our data. The shortcut for this would be in Excel to just right click on this and then click on add trend line, and then okay, let's just bring it here. From here, you could choose linear and then display equation on chart. As soon as you click on it, you can immediately see the equation on the chart. And you could even make it big. There you go. It's very simple here. However, the drawback of this is that I cannot use this equation in a cell. So I can't really convert it here in order to predict, because for this X is our T. So for example, if I want to find, if I want to forecast for the 11th period or the 11th week, the sales, what is it going to be? All I need to do is, this is the slope. So I would write this, and then instead of X, I would write 11 and then plus 699.4. However, we would be using the equation so that, because there could be some more decimals here which it doesn't show. So if you want to be 100% accurate in that sense, then I'll have to do some more math here. Okay, number crunching. All right, I could just put it aside. In order to do that, or I could even leave right now, I could simply use this and then just use the Excel like equals 7.5091 and then multiplied by 11 and then add 699.4. There you go. That will be the forecast for our 11 period. That's as easy as it gets. However, we want to be 100% accurate, and I will also show you, if you're using a paper and pen, how to do it. So for that, I would also need to be using this equation. It may look a bit difficult, but it's very easy. Let me just copy it and then paste it here so that we have it, and then I'll use it. What do I need to do is, I have my T and I have my Y. I need to also multiply the two. I could just copy this over again, or I could just simply leave it there. Let me just redo it. This one, could simply copy it here, and that here I will just name it as T, this one as Y, and then I'll multiply the two, T times Y, and then I'll also need to square the two, T times T, or T squared. All right. In order to derive this equation that is here, this is why I'm doing this. So the first thing I need to do is I need to multiply T with Y. So equals T times Y. Press enter and then double click on this. You don't even need to scroll down. I will do it. And then I need to square the T. So I'll say equals T and shift number 6 and then 2. So if we square 1, it is 1. So double click. There you go. Now I need the sum of these, because the equation does tell us that we need n is the number of periods that we have. In this case, we have 10. And then sum of t times y. So we would be needing the sum of this. All right. So I would be needing the sum of all of them. So you write sum equals sum and then just select it, press enter. And then I could also drag it across. Could make it bold to see. There you go. That's the sum of my t. That's the sum of my y. That's the sum of t times y. And that's the sum of t squared. There you go. I have all my necessary information in order to derive this equation. This equation, y hat equals a plus bt, as is in the book. Or if you have also remember this equation, y equals mx plus b is exactly the same thing. You could write it in multiple ways. In some textbooks in your maths, you have also studied ax plus b, all right, where a is the slope of the line, x is our variable, and b is where our fixed value would be, all right? So these are all the same thing. You could write it in multiple ways. So for this, in the book, this equation is used in that form. You could use any of the form. They're all the same thing. Let's find b first. So for b, what do I need to do? In order to find b, my b equals, so is n. I could either directly write 10, or it would be also wiser. For example, if you want to add an extra data in between, I would suggest using the count function. So you could just write anywhere you want. You could just simply write n, small n equals, and then write count. So you want to count it. So the beauty of count is that if I increase anything in between and if I add an extra point, that would also change. Okay, let me show you. For example, if I have more data and if I had like forgotten or made a mistake, 774. There, and okay. So this also have to be whatever that is in there equals this, and then drag it down. You see n has changed. Now it became 11. So I could undo it. There you go. I would prefer using the count function. Or I could simply write 10, whichever you like. Okay, so equals, I'll start my brackets, because I would put all the equation in the numerator between the bracket, and then I'll use the division sign and then use it all. Okay, the numerator and the denominator after that. So equals n, my n is 10 in that case, and then times the sum of t times y. Sum of t times y is this value. Okay, what next? Minus the sum of t times sum of y. What is my sum of t? Is this, and then times sum of y. There you go. Divided by, again, n, okay, I will click on that, times sum of t squared. Okay, there you go, sum of t squared, minus, I would put it with between bracket, sum of t, where is my sum of t? Okay, there you go, sum of t, all squared. There you go, enter. That is my b. Now, we couldn't have found a first, because you see b is an equation within a. So we had to find b first, and then after that we can find a. Now let's figure out a. A equals sum of y. Where is my sum of y? This is my sum of y. Minus b times sum of t. Okay, divided by n. There you go. That is my A. Now I need to put it into this equation. So my y hat, the reason it says hat is because it's for forecasting. My y hat equals A, all right, plus, okay, and then you multiply it by t, in this case, whichever time you want. So for example, I want to use any t. I could write, for example, t anywhere I want. I write t equals, and I'll just make it yellow. So whichever t I choose, whatever I write in there, just give me the forecast. So here, I'll write y equals A plus B times whatever the t I insert there, enter. So if I don't put anything, it's 0. So if B is 0, obviously A would become 699.4. So let me forecast for the 11th period. So if I write 11, and I could also increase or decrease the decimal points. You see, for the 11th, it's, okay, 72.000. However, when I simply used that, it was just 72.001. So there's a little bit difference. You see, tiny little bit difference if I use the shortcut, or I could use this method as well. So any period I want, it wouldn't be wise to use like the forecast for the 20 period because we don't know what's going to happen. All right. So you could use it for 2, 3, 4 max, I would say, because there are a lot of other methods that I will show. So for linear trends, that is pretty much it.